Hey guys, I thought I'd try a bit of longer form content for once. As you guys know, my article's coming out this Friday. This should be releasing around that time. As you guys know, I'm talking about the misconceptions around various high protein snacks and meals and stuff that different companies be pushing out. Like peanut butter was the main example that I used, where it has like 8 grams of protein per 200 calories. And the thing is, the serving size is only 2 tablespoons. So in reality, in order to actually like if you're actually making the sandwich, you're probably gonna have a lot more than 2 tablespoons. So yeah, you'll be getting a lot of protein in, but you have to also take into account how high the calories are for that serving size. I feel like that's the main thing that a lot of people struggle with, and it was one of the main things I struggled with as well. I remember I used to always eat cereal in the mornings before school, and it was interesting to finally see how many calories I was actually eating once I had downloaded a fitness tracker app. A lot of times the cereals will be like, oh, this cereal has like 170 calories per serving, has this much protein, this much fiber, and whatever. But the thing is that's that many calories, that many grams of sugar per serving. And the serving would be something like crazy, like 3/4 of a cup or a cup. And I don't know, if you have a bowl that's like maybe like this big, like you're not going to be using only a cup of cereal. And it doesn't even include the milk either. That's another thing. The cereal almost never includes the milk, and when they do, they'll have it on the side, and it'll be like with skim milk too, so that they can say that their calorie count's lower, which is honestly just absurd. People aren't going to be looking at the serving size. They're going to be looking at the big number at the top, like, oh, this has 170 calories. That's so low. That's so great. It doesn't have that much sugar. But the reality is they're actually putting in 3 times that much into their body. Um, and that's kind of why I use the whole peanut butter thing is because that has a particularly small serving size of 2 tablespoons. Is like I don't think people realize how small 2 tablespoons is. If you were to have like a slice of bread, a tablespoon would cover maybe a 16th of it. Like if you had just the thing, unless you spread it out, it'll cover it more. But and so most people probably use about 6, 8 tablespoons of peanut butter, and so then like that adds up with calories. One of the things that I'm always trying to push to people, regardless if they want to use a fitness tracker or if they just kind of want to eyeball stuff, and the whole eyeballing thing works better for beginners because most of the time they're eating like so egregiously unhealthy that just like subbing out healthy foods and stuff usually puts them in a calorie deficit and they'll start to lose weight. Um, like one of my friends, I'm training him up right now, and that's kind of what I'm having him do, is just like subbing out the foods that he would be eating, fried chicken for grilled chicken, um, simple carbs for like your quinoa or your sweet potatoes, your rice, um, really trying to get like better food groups in there that way you're feeling more satisfied. It takes up more volume. That's something I think gets rid of the hunger, and overall it's better for you, and it'll have less calories because of that. I always recommend that people go the simple route, and that's kind of how I got my whole like slogan of like keeping fitness simple. You want to make it as easy as for yourself as possible to reach your goals. Sort of taking that basic idea of like, oh, I need a lean meat, I need a complex carb, and then I need like some form of healthy fat, and then building your meals around that. And so I do think it's valuable, even if you don't use a fitness tracking app, to look up what like various serving sizes of those things look like. It's like, oh, like how much is a serving of rice? How much is a serving of chicken? And then how many calories and nutrients does that have? And so from there, you can then go and build your diet around that, where it's like, okay, like for lunch, I'll have, like I think like today for lunch I had like 6, 9 ounces of chicken breast, and then I had like a cup of rice. It's just like getting those simple components and putting your meal together that way, and then it ends up actually not tasting too bad. And if it does, you can always drench in hot sauce. Like that's always what I do. I'll get like, cause our dining hall is not the best, so I'll get like my chicken breast, just pour hot sauce all over it, and then I'll have like 2, 3 sweet potatoes or something, and then like a quarter cup of cheese. Dark chocolate's another good one too. Yeah, I just remember that. Good source of fat, and apparently it's actually an appetite suppressant. Coffee is too, so 2 appetite suppressants if you guys want to know that. Just If hunger is the thing for you, dark chocolate and coffee. When I say coffee, I mean like coffee, coffee. I don't mean like some crazy drink you got at Starbucks that's like 10 million calories. But yeah, kind of just like taking those basic building blocks, and then you can put your diet plan together. Like I've always been a big fan of like not following like it's like this diet plan where I have to have this amount of this and this amount of this and this amount of this. I feel like that, like, one, it's harder to follow, and then two, you kind of just get sick of it, and it doesn't leave room for, like, let's say like social settings. You have to go to like a dinner for like work, or you're meeting up with some friends at like an ice cream shop. Like, you don't want to not participate in social interactions because you're so focused on your diet. The calorie tracker part of it's great because you have like this number, and like you can just, as long as you stay under that number and hit your goals, like you can eat whatever the heck you want. Like I had ice cream yesterday, and I was able to fit it in. And I just ate a little bit less for lunch, or I just like didn't have a snack, stuff like that. But the thing is about that is that the eyeballing only works if you know what you're doing, and I'm able to do that because I have like enough experience now where I'm kind of able to just like, oh yeah, like I'm able to look at this plate and be like, okay, yeah, that's like 800, 900 calories ballpark. But like most people can't do that. And I feel like it's not right for us to expect people to do that. Like, and so that's why I get so bugged by people marketing like these various health products as being great for you when they're not. Like a high protein bar, and it's like 6 grams of protein and it's like 400 calories. I'm like, that's just a candy bar. Like, you can get more protein from bread. It's things like that that just kind of like get on my nerves, and that's kind of why I wrote the article, because I want it to be easier for other people, because it wasn't easy for me. Like, it was hard for me. Like, I remember my initial struggle was trying to lean down and like get a six-pack. That was my thing back in like sophomore year of high school. And I'm like, okay, I want to do this, and I'm training super hard, and I'm doing like weights and calisthenics, and I go on like an exercise program. I think it was like P90X or something, some like random like television like exercise program. And I'm like, I'm thinking that I'm eating healthy, I'm eating like right stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is like high protein and blah blah blah, and I'm not really like counting the servings. And so like I remember like one of the meals I would have would be like this tuna melt that I would make, but like mayo has a lot of calories, and so does cheese, and then so does like, I mean, the tuna itself doesn't have a lot of calories, but it's like if you're not measuring out how much you're putting on there, and you just put, oh, well, this is how much I want to eat. Like, yeah, you could be eating healthy foods, but even if you are eating that simple stuff, it could still lead to you gaining weight. And so it's just more of like a, people need to know more about it. And so I think what I'm going to do is probably the next article that I write, or maybe I might just make it a vlog on here, honestly. Actually go out and be like, okay, like this is what 6 ounces of chicken looks like, and this is what like a cup of rice looks like. This is what a serving of fat looks like. Because that was one thing that I always suffered. I remember I would be looking up on my phone like 6 ounces of chicken, and then like clicking images under Safari. And so I eventually got a scale, and I'm like, okay, well, like, and I had memorized, I took a picture, I'm like this is 6 ounces of chicken. But people shouldn't have to do that. Like, that's ridiculous. The fact that like I have had to spend so much time learning about weights of food and how much a serving looks like is just absurd. And it's a lack of fitness knowledge that, like, I feel like it should be taught in schools. Like, so, and they have the food pyramid, but like that's a whole lot of like what kid's gonna remember that? But yeah, and so I want to try and show you guys like the basic serving sizes and stuff. Some like snack hacks, I guess, to like try and like keep hunger away. That was one of the big things for me, is like always like managing hunger. I guess I'm approaching this a little more open-ended, where it's like I kind of want to just hear what you guys have to say. So definitely like leave some questions down below. I want to answer whatever questions you guys have. I want to help you guys out. I want everyone to reach their goals. I still am offering free coaching. I'm planning to do that for the next probably 3 or 4 months. It makes me so happy to see people on their goal and like accomplish everything. Like, I was looking at the texts from my friend the other day who I'm helping out, and he sent me this stuff. He's like, dude, like, I hope I hope like this is good. Like I hope you're proud of me or whatever. And like it just made me smile. Like I was having a rough day and like it made me smile. And so that's kind of why I do this, to help people. Because I used to be like that. I used to be confused, and so I want to make it as easy for other people as possible to like fall in love with fitness like I did. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Remember, keep fitness simple.